think the ideal for any city is to begin with bus rapid transit because it is simpler, faster, and more efficient.
A successful BRT transforms a city. There are 5 more BRTs being built in 5 other Colombian cities at this moment.
I am absolutely convinced that it is possible to carry a lot more passengers with bus rapid transit than with a subway, and in a much more pleasant manner.
The Southeast Busway in Brisbane particularly has been a great success. I mean, it has boosted for the first time in decades public transport usage. It is fast, it's an attractive service, and people have voted by using the system.
3 cities, Curitiba, Bogota, and Brisbane, are showing the world that BRT, bus rapid transit, is affordable, adaptable, and cost-effective. Although different in size, location, and culture, these cities have one thing in common: visionary leaders who are making things happen with BRT.
Transport is different from all other problems developing countries face. If a country gets richer, its education will be better, its culture will be better, almost everything will improve, except transport, which will get worse. Because you only get more and more cars and more traffic jams, more pollution, a more unlivable city. It's absolutely not possible to solve transportation problems through the increase in road infrastructure.
There are many ways to try and overcome transport problems. So why did these 3 cities choose BRT?
What attracted us to the busway concept was that they were cheaper than rail solutions, and also able to be rolled out in stages.
If you want to cover a whole city, the only possible solution is bus rapid transit, because rail systems are extremely expensive.
The added advantage of a busway is that the services pick up people close to their homes, join the busway, and then provide a congestion-free run into the city centre without having to change seats.
BRT is a high-speed rapid transit system using high-capacity vehicles, physically separated busways, feeder services, modern stations with electronic fare collection, integrated bicycle and pedestrian access, rapid boarding, and high service frequencies. How does BRT compare with light rail and metro rail? BRT can equal or exceed the capacity of most rail systems, cost much less to build and operate, and is up and running much more quickly. In fact, BRT can be operational in less than 3 years, well within the average term of a mayor. Curitiba is the first and best-known example of BRT. It is a fully integrated network combining both local and dedicated express services carrying 2 million passengers per day. Learning from Curitiba, Bogota is developing a fully integrated system designed to ultimately carry 5 million passengers per day. Brisbane is in the early stages of developing a BRT system that will have 5 high-capacity busways, providing a cheaper, reliable, and comfortable alternative to the car. Achieving a successful bus rapid transit system requires meeting challenges through leadership and innovation. The traditional challenges include public acceptance, finding political champions, and the natural resistance to change. In addition, although proven successful, many people still don't understand BRT.
Amongst the challenges were that there weren't any examples of busways in Australia at the time we got started, so it was something brand new. We borrowed from overseas experience. Perhaps the biggest challenge was really developing the policy and framework for how a busway would really operate in the Brisbane context.
But like any major project, the most important challenge is cutting through red tape and ensuring that city agencies work together to make it happen.
People think we just went ahead and did it. But in fact, we had to negotiate our way through it. There's one thing I learned. To cut through the red tape, it is important to do it quickly.
One of the major challenges was the division of responsibilities among traffic, police, and transportation agencies. We fixed this by integrating these functions so that traffic, police, and transportation work together.
A project such as Transmilenio cannot be realized by the traditional institutions of the city. I created an independent project team, which later became the Transmilenio Company, a very small, independent company that has the flexibility and the highly qualified people that is necessary to make the project a reality.
There are even challenges that come with success.
People will say that it is difficult to put in a busway. Not true. The real challenge is finding ways to meet increasing demand for the busway.
To meet increasing demand, we once looked at building light rail. However, we quickly saw that we could do better by adding bigger buses and tube stations.
As challenges are addressed, the benefits of bus rapid transit become apparent.
The busway has promoted a bit of a renaissance of public transport. Everybody sees the busway as a good thing.
Transmilenio transformed life in Bogotá. It's saving citizens about 300 hours per year, time that people now have with their family. People arrive at work less tired, they are more productive, and above everything, there is more respect for human dignity.
The busways being introduced have arrested a long-term decline in public transport usage in the city.
Patronage has increased by over 80%, which was well beyond our projections.
And positive reaction from the community about the South East Busway because of the frequency of service, the reliability. That has worked very well. I get letters from people talking about it. Certainly there's been that sort of support.
While increased ridership and public praise are important, there is perhaps an even greater benefit.
Our system is one of the few in the world that is not subsidized. If you don't subsidize public transit, you have more to invest in other social programs.
Transmilenio is not only a transportation project, it is an urban improvement project because investments were much lower than they would have been if we had invested in rail. We were able also to build sidewalks, bikeways, to plant trees, to make libraries, to make parks, to make a city much more humane.
The single greatest benefit for Bogotá from Transmilenio is to improve the quality of life for the citizens.
It is even possible to locate important services at BRT stations, making them easily accessible.
The South East Busway in Brisbane had some key successes with transit-oriented development. One of the keys was here at the Marta Hill Busway Station, where we were able to integrate with the hospital development program, and we were able to sell the air rights above the busway station so that they could build a clinic building and a link building across the busway and integrate the hospital facilities with the public transport station.
It's also important to understand how BRT competes with private cars. Curitiba, for example, has one of the highest car ownership rates in Brazil. Yet around 70% of commuters use public transport every day. Per capita gasoline consumption is 30% below other comparable Brazilian cities.
Even people who own cars prefer to go by Transmilenio because it's faster. About 15% of Transmilenio users own a car but prefer to use Transmilenio.
Quite a significant percentage of busway users are people who did previously drive cars and are now choosing to leave their cars at home.
You can get to the city from 8 Mile Plains by bus in 18 minutes. You're probably looking at 45 to 50 minutes as a normal peak hour run by taking your car all the way to the city. The cost of a ticket from the Southeast Busway from 8 Mile Plains to the city, $3.20. By comparison, you want to bring your car into the city, you're looking at $18 all day parking.
These cities are using BRT to provide mobility for all citizens. And there are dozens of other cities following their example. So what advice would our leaders give?
My advice would be to go for it and start in a substantial way rather than a piecemeal way.
The important thing is to start the process and get the job done. Make it happen.
My advice to any mayor would be bite the bullet and do it.
The most important thing is political will.
Guts.
Every BRT starts with a small step. It's a matter of having the courage to begin.
I am absolutely convinced it was worthwhile. It was worthwhile all the difficulties, the battles. And what is most important is that the people of Bogotá are convinced of it.
Now other parts of Brisbane are putting their hand up saying we want one as well.
We went from being importers of technology to being exporters of technology to the whole world. How did this happen? Because we decided to be realistic and have the courage to begin. There is no miracle here. Anyone can do it, and they can do it even better.